I guess give it a second. We just go ahead. Just go ahead. Okay, yeah. Well, thank you very much, Daniel, for the warm welcome. And yeah, I'm excited to be here today to present you SWIAT, our blockchain network for regulated financial entities, which is tailor-made for this very special sector and their very specific challenges. And we want to do a little recap before we jump into it, because we want to express why it is necessary to design a specific network for regulated financial entities. And where better to start than looking at where crypto stands today. And by looking at that, we see the Terra Luna coin. Of course, we all know it by now. We have heard it quite a few times today already. The value proposition itself failed, but even worse, the core value proposition of blockchain failed, because the blockchain network has been stopped twice. And how convenient that that the layer of truth, the source, the layer of trust can be stopped at the right time when it's convenient to stop. So of course there's some crumbling trust into the technology, and we see that as well in the cryptocurrency crumbling valuations, or as well in the similar scenario with the Celsius network. Again, an example we have heard already quite a few times today, and which is temporarily and still discontinued, where independency, trust, and decentralization has been violated. And ultimately, which is nothing new, but is still in the market, is the collaboration paradox, which has been framed already by the World Economic Forum in 2021, and as well the ongoing fragmentation in the market, recognized already by the Bank for International Settlement for solutions for regulated financial entities. So in this market, which is as well referenced to now quite a few times again as a bear market, where expectations, forecasts, and hopes get negatively revised, the question is, how can we proceed from there, and what are the consequences, and how can we truly get started? And we have to recognize that we have a delusionized environment where stakeholders will be more critical than ever, and where feasibility will be always questioned. And that we have to show that we actually can go into productivity and a productive mode for our clients and for our customers. And we have, in very short time, have to overcome the collaboration paradox to ensure scalability and interoperability, because otherwise no use case for the regulated financial sector will fly. And what we see today still is that we see a lot of different use cases standing next to each other and simply offering a certain use case like tokenization, derivatives, or other use cases, and we forget why we choose a blockchain. That's what we are seeing currently in the market. We are just simply, okay, I want to tokenize something, and I do not care about the consequences on which blockchain to put it. And as a result, all these solutions are not interoperable with each other, hence they're not scalable for the financial sector. And when we see solutions trying to bridge blockchain technology, we see that vulnerable points are getting opened up, that we can get hacked, like this weekend, right, now Harmonize. That's a core issue which we want to address by offering a blockchain network for regulated financial entities, that we see that these actors become a proper network where they can trust and know that there are certain responsibilities and roles distributed from each other without getting violated in the sense of a governance aspect. And I think what should be clear right now is, or what we should have learned as a sector, is that without a use case, of course, technology like the blockchain technology is pointless. But if we choose the wrong network, right, without the right network, any use case is useless in the blockchain environment. And this is painful to see, that there are so many good use cases simply being thrown at the wrong network, where we say, okay, but have you thought about the governance implications? Have you thought about what this means for the assets if they're going to get locked in, etc., etc. And hence, the issues for regulated financial entities, scalability, interoperability, and conformity with regulatory standards. And what is it what we offer for these entities at SWIAT? On the scalability aspect, we separate the network from the use cases. That's something what we have seen in the past by consortia and groups of banks, that they simply move everything together and try to govern it all at once. And this ultimately prevents innovation and stops the disruption which is going on. So what SWIAT does is offering a network and giving each user the flexibility and the openness to describe and develop their own business model on top of it as an independent use case. Interoperability. Of course, it is necessary to be compatible with the EVM network, because we have seen, or network, the innovation hub, because we have seen the potential and the fireworks of innovation going on over there. So what we are ensuring is that we are connected to this net and capable of bridging all the innovation we have seen in the past as well on the SWIAT network, but in a regulatory compliant way, and thereby enabling traction for the regulated entities and market. And of course, conformity with regulatory standards. We have been designing this platform already since 2019 and have been following as well the recent changes and in the legal landscape, and have been monitoring this. So this is something what we already embed into our platform so that financial institutions can simply add new use cases and start using them. And by this, we think, and we're quite sure, that we can overcome the collaboration paradox where no one wants to work together with each other. And if we look at the landscape as a result, what changes, right? If we start using SWIAT in a network, for the target group of regulated financial entities, is that we still have these use cases standing next to each other. They are still independent from each other. We can still have startups offering their own value proposition, still startups going after business purposes, etc. But ultimately, the network ensures that they are interoperable with each other, that they are compliant with each other, and that a bank can use their entire asset portfolio not only for one use case, but for multiple use cases. Because capital markets, financial markets are not single use case driven. We have to think the entire sector in a holistic manner and to have to set it up in a holistic framework. And that's exactly what we're doing on SWIAT. So what are the opportunities that some participants joining SWIAT could do? On the asset side, we are heavily focusing on securities. We're not talking about cryptocurrencies or NFTs. We're talking about digital securities, like in the sense of the German Electronic Securities Act, released in the summer 2021 last year, and as well hybrid securities, securities which are still governed by traditional law and framework, but are fully digitalized on the network, and as well as traditional securities. So what do we have here? From a banking point of view, this is highly interesting because you have all the different asset types in one area, and you can move them all together simultaneously in the same second, and which is unseen until now in the market, that you truly move them on the same technological environment, the different security types. And when you have the rich variety of your asset portfolio available, you of course want to use it in different use cases. So what we are already enabling on our network is issuance of crypto securities, the usage of software for tokenization purposes, as well as securities lending. But, and this is very crucial, we are open for other innovation. We are open for startups, we are open for fintechs, that they start developing their own solutions based on SWIAT and EVM compatibility, so that they actually can enrich this ecosystem and can provide this holistic setup what regulated financial entities daily need on the blockchain world. So to put it in a nutshell maybe, what is SWIAT? SWIAT enables regulated financial entities to move their traditional business on new technology, on a blockchain, and to develop their traditional business with digital securities and more. And I'm happy to have a chat with a few of you, answer some questions after this presentation as well, or on backstage or wherever. And yeah, would be happy to see someone or a few of you later at lunch. Yeah, thank you very much.